Welcome back to High Stakes, where we help you elevate your betting strategy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with our daily content. Looking for exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join us on Patreon. Links are available in the comments section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. Oh, look at this matchup. Cincinnati Bengals versus Pittsburgh Steelers. The ultimate AFC North grudge match to wrap up the regular season on January 4th. I mean, who needs the playoffs when you've got this kind of high-stakes drama, right? First up, let's talk about the Bengals, who, surprise, surprise, are 8-8 and clinging onto the tiniest glimmer of hope for a wild card spot. The math is complicated, but let's be real. What they need is a miracle. They have to beat the Steelers and hope that the Dolphins lose to the Jets and the Broncos lose to the Chiefs. Basically, if every single thing goes wrong for every other team in the league, the Bengals might just sneak in. How's that for a playoff strategy? But hey, they've got Joe Burrow, so why not dream big? Burrow's been lighting it up because obviously he's the best quarterback in the NFL when he wants to be, and he's throwing the ball like it's a backyard game. The guy's sitting pretty at 4,641 passing yards for the season, and he's got weapons like Jamar Chase, who's caught 1,612 yards of pure magic, and T. Higgins, who just can't stop scoring touchdowns. The Bengals' offense is, no doubt, a well-oiled machine, averaging 28.3 points per game, sixth best in the league. But of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The Bengals' defense is a dumpster fire. They're giving up 26.1 points per game, 29th in the NFL. Seriously, they make it look too easy for opponents to score on them. If the Bengals' offense can't bail them out, you can forget it. But since the offense has been going full throttle lately, especially after they pulled off a miraculous overtime win against Denver, you can't really count them out. Sure, they're the fourth worst rushing team, but when you've got Burrow tossing it 40 times a game, who needs to run anyway? On the other side, you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are, shockingly, 10-6. And hey, good for them. They've already clinched a wild card spot, so this game's a formality, right? Well, sort of. They still have an outside chance of winning the division, but that would require the Ravens to lose to Cleveland. And let's be real, if you're relying on Cleveland to do you a favor, maybe it's time to just quit while you're ahead. The Steelers have had a rough go of things lately, though. After a solid start, they've lost 3 straight games, so yeah, the momentum is not exactly on their side. Their most recent loss to the Chiefs was especially humiliating, losing 29-10 and never leading the game once. To top it off, they turned the ball over twice, which is basically the cherry on top of their failure sundae. Quarterback Russell Wilson's doing his thing with 2,334 yards and 15 touchdowns, but that doesn't exactly strike fear into anyone's heart at this point. Najee Harris has managed to run for over 1,000 yards, but the Steelers' offense has been like a slow-moving car crash lately. What about Pittsburgh's defense? Well, that's where things get tricky. TJ, what is still TJ, what? Leading the team with 11.5 sacks and 19 tackles for a loss. But what good is that when the offense is so inept? And let's not forget the fact that some of Pittsburgh's key players are out, including wide receiver Roman Wilson and linebacker Cole Holcomb. When you're facing a Bengals offense that can throw the ball around like they're playing Madden, being short on defense isn't exactly a great position to be in. So, here's what it all boils down to. The Bengals? Well, they're rolling right now. 4 straight wins, with Burrow looking like a man possessed, and a high-powered offense that could probably score with its eyes closed. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, has seen its playoff dreams flicker out like a bad light bulb. The Steelers have lost 3 straight, and unless Burrow suddenly forgets how to throw the ball, it's hard to see them turning it around this week. With the Ravens likely clinching the division earlier in the afternoon, the Steelers might just wave the white flag and coast into the postseason without much fight. I mean, it's not like Pittsburgh's going to put up much resistance against Burrow and Chase, who'll probably be eating the Steelers' secondary alive. Don't get me wrong, the Steelers' defense has been decent this year, but no one's scared of their secondary, and without getting after Burrow, it's going to be a long night for them. Prediction: Bengals to cover the -1.5 spread. It just makes sense. And then we have a total. The over underline for this game is set at 48.5, and that's where things get juicy. The Bengals are bound to be airing it out all over the place, racking up yards and points, while the Steelers will probably be scrambling to catch up. Yeah, I know the Steelers' defense has been decent, but with guys like Burrow and Chase on the field, defense is basically optional. Expect a lot of touchdowns and plenty of scoring. Prediction: over 48.5. Because why would you bet the under in a game where Burrow is slinging it like there's no tomorrow? So, yeah, take the Bengals, take the over, and just pray that the Steelers can put up a fight that lasts longer than their hopes of winning the division. Now for my game prop picks. Joe Burrow over 303.5 passing yards. Joe Burrow is on fire right now, and this game is no different. The dude's been slinging it all season, and with his explosive weapons like Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins, it's no surprise he's averaging a ton of yards every game. The Steelers, for all their defensive prowess, haven't faced a quarterback with Burrow's precision in the passing game, especially one who can thread the needle to his stud receivers in any coverage. When you add in the Steelers' secondary being a bit depleted and Burrow likely needing to throw it 40-plus times to keep his playoff dreams alive, this number feels pretty low. Burrow needs to get into the high 300s if the Bengals are going to make a serious run, so 303.5 is a very achievable target. Expect him to pick apart the Steelers' defense, especially with the way Chase and Higgins are getting open. If Burrow stays on the field the whole game, and the Bengals aren't pulling a 2019 Bengals-style collapse, he's easily going over this line. Ja'Marr Chase, anytime touchdown. If you're betting on the Bengals to win this game, you absolutely should have Ja'Marr Chase in your prop picks. This man is unstoppable right now. The Steelers just can't cover him, and no matter how many defensive schemes they throw at him, Chase just finds a way to break free. The Steelers' secondary, which already struggles with top-tier talent, has a hard time stopping Chase's speed and physicality. And don't forget, Burrow and Chase have been linked at the hip since LSU. So expect Burrow to be looking for his main man in the red zone early and often. With 16 touchdowns this season, it's practically a certainty that he finds the end zone at least once here. The Steelers' defense simply can't keep up. The props for Chase anytime touchdown will likely be favorable because of his consistency, so scoop it up if you can. T. Higgins, over 75.5 receiving yards. T. Higgins isn't a secondary option. He's just as big of a threat as Chase in this offense. Sure, he's playing second fiddle, but it's like playing next to a star player in basketball. You're still going to get a ton of opportunities to make plays. Higgins has been steady this season, consistently hitting over 75 yards in multiple games. What's scary for the Steelers is that when Burrow looks to throw to Chase, the defense forgets about Higgins, and that's when he rips off big plays. If the Steelers double up on Chase, that opens up a whole world of opportunities for Higgins. Considering Burrow's connection with both of these guys and the fact that Higgins is capable of breaking a big play at any moment, hitting 75.5 receiving yards seems well within reach. He's been averaging over 70 yards per game, so don't sleep on this one. Najee Harris, over 56.5 rushing yards. Now, we can't just ignore Najee Harris. Sure, the Steelers' offense has been off lately, but Harris is a true bell cow back. Even with the offense struggling, Harris has been able to grind out positive yardage, and against a Bengals defense that isn't exactly known for its stout run defense, he's going to get a fair share of opportunities. With the Steelers' passing game sputtering, expect them to lean on Harris to try to keep the game close and control the clock. At just 56.5 yards, it's a low bar for a back like Harris, who's rushed for over 1,000 yards this season. If the Steelers can get into any kind of rhythm offensively, Harris could easily eclipse this number by grinding out some tough runs. Bengals team total over 28.5 points. The Bengals are an offensive juggernaut right now, and even though their defense is trash, they've been able to outscore their problems. At 28.3 points per game, they're the sixth highest scoring team in the league. Against a Steelers defense that's missing key players and facing an explosive passing attack, it's hard to see the Bengals not scoring 30-plus here. Burrow, Chase, and Higgins are going to be on fire, and the Steelers' defensive woes just make it that much easier for the Bengals to score quickly. Expect the Bengals to pile on the points early to secure their wild card hopes. Burrow isn't about to let this slip through his fingers. Total sacks over 3.5. Both teams have defenses that can disrupt the quarterback, but more importantly, both teams have offensive lines that can't handle pressure. Joe Burrow, while elite, has been sacked a lot this season, and the Steelers still have TJ Watt, the league's most dominant edge rusher, not to mention the Bengals' offensive line, which has been a leaky sieve. On the flip side, Russell Wilson isn't exactly known for avoiding sacks, and the Bengals' defense, while poor overall, can still generate some pressure against a shaky Steelers line. With Watt, the Bengals' defense trying to create turnovers, and Burrow's tendency to hold the ball longer than he should, expect 4 or more sacks in this game. It's going to be a bumpy ride for both quarterbacks. Pittsburgh Steelers to score 17 to 24 points. The Steelers' offense has been anemic lately, and with the way the Bengals' offense is lighting up the scoreboard, it's hard to envision the Steelers winning this game. However, 17 to 24 points seems like a reasonable total for the Steelers. They'll likely have some success running the ball with Najee Harris, and with Pickens and Freiermuth in the passing game, they should be able to put up a couple of touchdowns. If the Bengals go up big early, Pittsburgh will have no choice but to throw it more, giving them a chance to score some garbage time points. But let's be real, this game isn't going to be close, So expect the Steelers to get a few points, but not enough to make it competitive. And that's a wrap on today's video, folks. I'm sure you're absolutely on the edge of your seat, eagerly awaiting the next thrilling installment of this channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because clearly you don't want to miss any of our daily videos. I mean, who could live without them? And while you're at it, smash that notification bell, so you can be the first to know when we drop more gems like this. Oh, and if you're looking for some premium picks, because let's be honest, who isn't? Join our Patreon. It's where the real magic happens. Premium picks, insider info, and possibly even some mildly entertaining banter. So, hit that link, and we'll see you on the inside. Until next time, enjoy the game, make those bets, and remember, you're welcome.